It's true, guys. The title of this video is true. I am no longer a part of the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Game Changers program. Yes. This is a day that has been building up for quite a long time, ladies and gentlemen. If you checked out the forums a few moments ago, you would have seen a post that the Galaxy of Heroes Game Changers program is being discontinued. It's nada. It's gone. It's zilch. And to be honest, this is something I was expecting to happen back in about October, November of 2018. And I know a lot of people might be concerned about me. Where does that put me in? And it's not just me getting kicked out of the Game Changer program for Galaxy of Heroes. It's basically all the other content creators, whether web-based, Twitch, YouTube, and other things out there, podcasts and whatnot. They're also being removed from the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Game Changers program. There's basically no branch for the Galaxy of Heroes Game Changers program. And I'm going to explain a lot of stuff in this video. What the Game Changer program actually is, because this post doesn't really do enough justice, and a few sentences kind of gives off the wrong impression about what our role is in this community that we play in. The other thing we're going to talk about is why all of a sudden this post is happening. I said this post probably should have been posted back in fall of 2018, and there's a lot of reasons why. A lot of stuff has been building up, and finally they pulled the trigger. And thirdly, I'm going to talk about how this is actually a great thing. I think actually this is going to be a great thing for the channel, my channel specific, everyone else, and for people who aren't even in the Game Changers program and making content. This might actually benefit you as well. So we're going to talk about all that stuff today. But before we do so, one thing I've been putting off for quite a long time is I haven't been able to find the right time to really thank you guys, and also the right way to thank you guys. And I've been sitting on this right here. I'll show you in a second. The day before I was going to my law school graduation, just graduated my third year of law school, in case you guys don't follow the channel closely. And the day before I was about to graduate, this came in the mail. As you guys know, we recently surpassed the 100,000 subscriber threshold back in late March, I want to say. And this came in the mail right before my graduation. And it's funny, even though I did a lot of hard work in law school, I'm still taking the bar this upcoming July for Illinois, and I'm planning on being a licensed attorney at some point. For some reason, I take so much pride in this right here, and I actually I have a lot more pride in this than I actually do graduating law school. And there's really no perfect way of saying this. There's no perfect video for this. It's just, you got to say it. I thank you guys so much for getting the channel to where it is now. Your guys' support on videos, streams, liking, subscribing, the patrons, people who donate on streams, and people who just sit on my Discord server, Twitter. The list goes on and on and on. I thank every single one of you guys who have supported this channel in whatever small way possible, because although this is being mailed to me, it's going to sit behind me after this video today. This really is all of your guys'. It's just going to sit here because I can't make 110,000 clones of these for you guys. Because of your guys' just your overwhelming support, I've actually been doing YouTube full time, like seriously full time. Not that, oh yeah, he's doing it full time, like seriously full time, basically lawyer style full time. Don't want to get in specifics of numbers, all because of your guys' support. And I feel overwhelmingly blessed every single day when I wake up. I realize how blessed I am that I have you guys supporting me, and I get to do something kind of as a living. You guys have blessed me with that opportunity, and I thank you guys so much that I can do this. I've been able to pay off a lot of my law school. Last year, I didn't have to take out any loans to pay for law school, and I'm still going to take the bar in July. I'm going to be a practicing attorney. I'm going to somehow combine my interest in law and my degree in law and try to pair it with my interest to try to give back to the community somehow. So I'm not going to give up on law and do YouTube forever. That's not the goal. I'm going to try to do them simultaneously. But before we get into it, guys, seriously, thank you, and hopefully we can get this channel to the next threshold somehow. Whatever it may be, I'm so happy you guys are here for the journey with me. All right, before we start crying, let's talk about what the title is actually more about, and that's about this Game Changer program. So on the forums, you saw this post, and what I want to talk about first, before we talk about everything else afterwards, which, by the way, all of this, what I'm going to say going forward, is my perspective. It's not EA's official word, not Capital Games' official word, but I've seen a lot of stuff behind the scenes, so I have a good perspective as to why we're at this point where we are today. And even though this Game Changer program is being dismembered from Galaxy of Heroes, and let's just say this, if you can't watch the whole video, if you've been enjoying my content all the way up until this point, nothing's going to change, and probably arguably I'll have better access to things going forward. We'll see how that pans out, but overall, if you've been enjoying the content for the past several years, nothing's really going to change, with a few exceptions of maybe early kit reveals potentially. All right, so to kind of explain why Capital Games is deciding to do this, to my knowledge, Capital Games is the only studio that doesn't want this game changer program, and there's a game changer program for every other single EA game out there. Maybe once I give you this discussion today, you'll have an understanding why that might be the case. Secondly, the game changer program was created by EA. It's an EA program, not Capital Games, and EA, they created this program to kind of tie the community and gamers to these various games out there to kind of bridge this gap of getting people excited, to kind of bridge this gap, provide feedback to games, to share the news with other people in the community that maybe aren't as big and they can't really have that direct access. We're kind of your liaisons, I suppose, to the developers, to all these other games, and making sure that they provide good games to the community. So with that said, though, EA, to my knowledge and how I see things, they push this program on all their games and all their subsidiaries and all these studios, and it seems to be working for a lot of other games, Need for Speed, FIFA, Madden, and the list goes on and on and on. And it was also pushed on Capital Games. And from the way I see it, it looks like they didn't want anything to do with this program in the first place. And to kind of explain that, let's put on the Capital Games hat, the business hat. As a lawyer, you gotta see things from multiple perspectives. Not even just a lawyer, in general, being able to see things from multiple perspectives is just a good all-around trait to have that every human being should have, so you can understand where someone's coming from, whether they're right or wrong. So with the Capital Games hat on, there's really a couple reasons why they may have wanted to cut off this program before even getting into some of the underlying background story. The first thing I kind of noticed that they had a problem with was giving us early access to things and making us like the exclusive first wave of like everyone exclusively showing gameplay of something when it hits the ground. Like when the forum post hits, we have gameplay showing it right away. Now I think that's a good thing, having gameplay kind of coinciding with it, but the problem is that it seems like they think with this EA Game Changer title is that there comes this officialness that the videos we put out are supposed to be reflective of how the studio thinks of a character, how they designed the character, and that's not really the case. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys who watch these videos know when I put out a video on Jedi Knight Revan or any of these characters, Darth Malak, that what I say is my interpretation of a character, my analysis of a character, and not Capital Games. But there's probably this maybe misunderstanding for some people that the videos we put out are official words of Capital Games and EA, and that is far from the truth. Second problem is when they were giving exclusive stuff, let's say you got first access to all these new characters and you posted a video the very second a post went live, there was this issue where a competing game, a directly competed game, The Galaxy of Heroes, came out, like Marvel Strike Force. We'll talk about that in a bit. And when you're getting exclusive access to things or information, you're getting an audience. And then when you in a few moments you put out another video, Marvel Strike Force. So it kind of seems like you're walking over this Galaxy of Heroes customer or audience base over to Strike Force, and you can understand from a business perspective that might not be something you want. So that's kind of another thing to keep on your hat, as we'll talk more about in detail soon. And then lastly, you got to keep in mind that Capital Games, they have so many important relationships, not just with EA, not just with the community, not just with us here as Game Changers, formerly Game Changers, but more importantly, the guy who sees everything. And I'm not talking about Jesus here. I'm talking about Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse, the guy who pretty much runs the world, or one of the biggest influences in the world right now, and more specifically Star Wars, Lucasfilm. They have to do, they work so much with them. And one of the problems is, obviously, you know, on this channel, we keep things relatively PG-13 at the very most, friendly. And some of the things we say are jokes or maybe opinions of the franchise and whatnot, maybe might not reflect well. And Capital Games, they might have to defend us when Lucasfilm asks questions. Perhaps that's just my speculation right there. So again, getting rid of this officialness of the Game Changer program seems to resolve a lot of those issues. I'll give you guys a few facts to help you guys understand this story better. Let's take for example, making sure our opinion is our own. Because one thing is when we criticize something, let's say how Darth Malak was released, or let's say when Sims got changed from 8 to 5, or other things like we don't like a character and we say that on an exclusive access reveal video, the studio would get upset saying, hey, that's we don't like what you said there, that's not our intention, yada, 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 whatever the case may be. There was always issues with them wanting us to kind of tailor our content more to exactly what they wanted. And obviously, like me personally, as I said, every video I put out has been 100% my words. If I don't like something, I'll tell you guys. If I'm wrong, I'll tell you guys. And if I'm right, I'll remind you guys that I'm right. So there's been a lot of instances where I'll put out a video or someone else will put out a video, even if it's anything related to a joke or what we said about the character in terms of their performance or whatever else. There's been times they reach out saying, yo, why did you say that? And again, they, with this brand of Game Changers, makes it seem like we're official. They maybe have this interpretation that what we're putting out is people are going to think that's the official word on a character, and that's not the case. Second thing, we talked about Marvel Strike Force for 2 seconds. That was definitely a problem. It seems like from the way I saw what was going on last year around that March 2018 period when Marvel Strike Force was coming out, a lot of the Game Changers for Galaxy of Heroes, they wanted to cover that game. They loved the game. It was a kind of a logical transition for a new content for all these Galaxy of Heroes Heroes Game Changers, because Marvel Strike Force, let's be honest, it's definitely got a lot of copycat elements to Galaxy of Heroes. And again, just from how I perceive it, it seemed like they did not want us to be covering this competing game, because they've been feeding us content for new stuff, exclusive access stuff, and obviously some of those, sometimes you get new subscribers because of that new audience, or that new content you're being fed through Capital Games. And then 2 days later, or a day later, you show a Marvel Strike Force vid. It's kind of like Capital Games is walking over their customers to the Game Changer, who is then walking that customer over the Marvel Strike Force. So it seemed like they took a lot of precautions to try to curve the amount of Game Changers covering that game. For example, Warrior and Cubs, they really wanted to play Marvel Strike Force. They actually made a couple videos on it. Some of their best videos on their channel is Marvel Strike Force. But Capital Games tried providing some incentives to try to stop it. And you guys may have seen this with those in-game ads where a banner pops up in the game, you can click on it, brings us to a video. Basically, every single one of those people got, even myself, I didn't have any intentions to play Marvel Strike Force. I didn't like the game, didn't really fit my channel. I played it for a week and I put it down because I didn't like it. But everyone else who was really interested and made Marvel Strike Force content, they all stopped, except Mobile Gamer. And if you notice, if you kind of look at the facts, Mobile Gamer was the only one who did not get an in-game ad because he played Marvel Strike Force, and feeding views to him for Galaxy of Heroes for exclusive stuff and then bringing it over to Marvel Strike Force may have been something Capital Games didn't want to deal with. And you guys may have noticed too, just beyond that during the Marvel Strike Force release, there was a huge spike in communication just with the studio and just the community at large, Reddit forums and whatnot. I mean, we don't need to connect the dots too much there, but it seems like there's a correlation among all that. And then lastly, things we say in our channel, whether jokingly or whatever the case may be, I like to speak freely. I like to have fun on this channel. I don't think I've ever been too edgy, like rated R content, but once in a blue moon, we might do PG-13 content. That really comes with the meme review. I love doing meme reviews, and you guys noticed that when Mobile Gamer came out to Chicago, he hung out in my office for a couple months. We started the whole meme review series for Galaxy of Heroes because there were so many great memes, and we did quite a few videos of it. And eventually a big thing came, and I don't know if this is the sole reason why all of a sudden things went south, or there's probably other factors behind it, but I think this definitely had a good correlation with it all. But one meme review we did, the developers did not like, or the studio did not like, or it was Disney or Lucasfilm, or I don't know, someone out there did not like the video we put out with meme review. You know, instead of calling me saying, hey, don't make these videos anymore, or something a bit more civil, they sent a pretty threatening email, basically demanding that they'll take down the video or else they'll take action against the channel. They cited some weird contract clause that made it seem like they had authority over what goes on my channel. And I asked them, where's this contract? I mean, as a good lawyer, you should keep track of all your contracts and NDAs and stuff, because I never saw that. And then that contract they cited never existed. And basically after that point, you saw that all those good test accounts disappeared and all those early access things disappeared. Like basically around that October-November period, the Game Changer program was unofficially done for Galaxy of Heroes. But I mean, that really doesn't stop people like me. I'm still going to make videos, whether you give it to me early or I just play it a couple hours after release. It really doesn't matter. I still get the same amount of views. So overall, what is happening to this program? It's just basically the officialness is just going away. But from what it seems like, if they kind of hold up their end of the promise or what they intend to do, we're going to get a test server, a better test server than these test accounts we have now. We'll still have some ways of testing. It's not like those test accounts are going to go away. So that's all I care about. We'll still have contact with the studio, but they're not going to use us as the exclusive or the official way of showing new content. And that's fine. We've been doing that for a while now. If something comes out, I didn't get access to it, I'm going to read the kit to you guys, give you my analysis on it. I'm going to play the character, test out the character, live stream the character. So guys, although overall it might seem like a scary story when you read the headlines, by and large, everything's going to be fine with me. I'm sure all these other content creators out there, they're going to be fine as well. If you've been enjoying the content for the past several years on this channel, literally nothing is going to change. It's been the same for a long time. It's just the Game Changer title is disappearing, and I really don't care. This is the only game I care about from EA. All the other EA games, I really don't like all that much. The second thing that I really think is important for you guys as well is that I see, once in a while, I come across like a video that kind of gets some traction on like the Reddit page or something. There's a lot of small content creators. Just not too long ago, there's a small podcast, like almost a brand new podcast. They got an exclusive interview with Carrie. They weren't any sort of Game Changer program. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you're someone who likes making content, I'm not saying you're guaranteed to do this, but you don't need to be a part of the Game Changer program to get in touch with the developers. But overall, guys, thank you so much for all your support. Again, this is here because of you guys, and we're not stopping, baby. We're not stopping, baby. Game Changer program didn't really do much for the channel. Everything that we've been doing here is because of myself producing the content and you guys supporting the channel. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Comment down below on all of your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing, because we ain't going nowhere, baby. And I'll talk to you guys very soon. Peace out, everyone.